Hey, there you are. You made it. Go ahead and get comfortable first. You don't need to listen yet. I'll wait. That's it. Just let your shoulders drop a little. You don't need to sit up straight for me. This isn't that kind of session. Tonight isn't about rolling well. It's not about remembering rules. It's not even about following the story perfectly. Tonight is just me reading and listening as much or as little as you want. If your thoughts wander, that's fine. If you miss whole sections, that's even better. That just means you're resting. Alright, let me grab the binder. There it is. It's heavier than it looks. Full of notes that only half make sense anymore. Names crossed out, arrows pointing nowhere. Little reminders I wrote at 2 in the morning and definitely meant to fix later. I always forget how many pages there are. Every campaign starts neat and then slowly turns into soft chaos. But that's okay. That's what it's supposed to look like. You don't need to see any of this. You don't need to track it. You don't need to remember a single name I say. I've got it. Tonight, your only job is to be here. And even that's optional. Let's start where I always like to start, with you. Your character sheet is tucked right here, a little worn at the edges now. That's how I know it's been used. You didn't build them to be perfect. You built them to feel real. There were easier choices you could have made, stronger options, cleaner builds, but you chose personality. You chose story. You chose the option that made you curious. That's why I trust you as a player. You don't rush moments. You let scenes breathe. You ask questions because you actually want to know the answers. Not everyone does that. I remember the first session clearly. Everyone was a little nervous. Dice were rolled too fast. Voices were a bit stiff. No one quite knew how much space they were allowed to take. And then you spoke. Not loudly, not dramatically, just enough. You described what your character was doing in a way that made everyone else lean in a little. That's when I knew this campaign was going to last longer than planned. It always starts like that. You remember the first town? The way the lanterns swayed at dusk. How the air smelled faintly of rain and wood smoke. You didn't know each other well then, still learning voices, still testing trust. But even then, you stepped forward. You asked the questions no one else thought to ask. You noticed details others missed. And quietly, without fanfare, the party started to orbit around you. You never demanded attention. You just earned it. The first tavern. I didn't expect it to matter. Just another name on a map. Another place to meet an NPC and move on. But you stayed. You asked what the fire smelled like, what the benches were made of, whether the windows rattled when the wind picked up. So I made it warmer. I added little details. I let it grow roots. Now, every time the party returns there, it feels familiar, safe. Even danger feels quieter there. If you're starting to feel sleepy here, that's perfect. This is the kind of place you rest. Some of the biggest moments weren't dramatic at all. They were quiet decisions made without thinking too hard. You chose to help someone you didn't have to. You chose not to push for a reward. You chose to listen instead of act. Those moments don't look impressive on paper, but they change everything. They're why certain doors opened later, why certain people trusted you, why the world felt like it noticed you. You did that. Somewhere along the way, the group stopped being strangers. It wasn't during a battle. It wasn't after a victory. It was during a quiet moment, a shared watch under the stars. A meal split evenly when supplies were low. A laugh that surprised all of you. That's when the campaign changed. From then on, you weren't just adventurers. You were companions. And you became their anchor. The one who remembered names. The one who checked in. The one who made space for everyone else to shine. There were battles, of course. There always are. But tonight, we don't need the noise. No shouting, no numbers, just the feeling after. The way everyone exhaled at the same time. The way dice stopped clattering. The way laughter came easier once it was over. Those are the moments I like best. They mean you survived. Together. Here it is. I even underlined it. This was supposed to be a one-shot. And then you did that. You asked the question I hadn't planned for. You followed the thread I had assumed you would ignore. You cared about the throwaway detail. That's how campaigns are born. I never mind, honestly. Those moments are gifts. Not every session needs to stand out. Some were just roads, footsteps, campfires, long stretches of nothing happening. But those sessions matter too. They give the world time to settle. They give characters room to exist without pressure. Just like this moment. Nothing important needs to happen right now. There are names written here. Names you might not remember anymore, but they remember you. The way you treated them. The choices you made. In this world, kindness leaves echoes. You don't need to recall every detail for it to matter. I want to say this gently. You're a good player, not because you're clever, not because you win, but because you make space. You lift others up. You let moments land. That's rare. And I appreciate it more than you know. If the story is starting to blur now, that's exactly right. You don't need to hold on to it. I will. The campaign can rest tonight, and so can you. Suppose that's enough for now. No ending, just a pause. The dice can stay out, the notes can wait. You've done plenty. You don't need to plan your next move. You don't need to remember anything I said. Just rest. The story will still be here when you wake up. Sleep well, adventurer.